Okay, class?
Yes.
Okay, hey, that's pretty good. Good job. Now, we're going to do this, and this is on the calculator again. So a couple things I'm going to start off with. I'm going to start with the interval here. Now, what does the interval here pertain to? What does it go with? It goes with my windows, right? It goes with the windows. So the interval is going to tell me where my windows are. So windows. And in this case right here, it says 0 to 2 pi. That's radian. Can we do it in radian? Say no. No, we're not doing it in radian. The trick that I'm teaching you is all in degrees. So my answers in the end have to be converted back to radian. But it's a lot easier than trying to do the whole problem out. You're plugging in the calculator, getting your answers, and then you convert your answers. And I'll show that here in a moment. But now, so this is going to be 0 to 360 because 2 pi is the same as 360. So x min is 0. X max is 360. Y min is -2. Y max is +2. There we go. So that's important. That's a good setup. That's where we start my problems because I have to look there first. That's going to tell me how my answers have to look, and that's where it's going to help me figure out what answers I could use. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I look at my equation. My equation has to be equal to what? 0. Is this equation here equal to 0? Yes, it is. But if it's not equal to 0, I'm either going to have to add or subtract whatever's on the right-hand side to make it equal to 0. It could be left-hand side too if you want to, but doesn't matter. So this one's already here set up. Now I'm gonna write it out what it's going to look like on your calculator. So when you do this, it's got to be super important. So for this, it's going to be tangent parentheses x degrees close. And then the square goes outside my parentheses. The square has to go outside parentheses. And one more thing, whenever I put it into the calculator, sometimes on their problems it's going to have a theta. What are you going to use instead of theta? X. Always use X. Your calculator doesn't like theta unless we're in polar coordinates. So, but don't do that. We do that at the end of the semester. So tangent squared x plus tangent x degrees close minus 2 equals 0. Another thing a lot of people did earlier, making a mistake, this is minus 2. Do not put a negative. Do not put a negative. It's going to mess it up. So make sure your negative is a negative and your minus is a minus. This one is supposed to be a minus. So let's go ahead and enter that. So start by setting up your windows. I highly recommend when you pick up your calculator, Doc B. Clear it out. You don't know what those other people were doing before you. So Doc, letter B, clears my calculator, clears my scratch pad. Now I have my scratch pad here, and I'm going to set up my windows. For those people who weren't paying attention on Monday or weren't even here on Monday, here's the steps to change that. So you guys are going to write this down. So from here, I'm going to hit Menu, Window Zoom, Window Settings. All right there, x min 0, 360, -2 and 2. Now I enter my function. Make sure you use the tangent under the trig button. Don't type in TAN. X degrees close square plus tangent x degrees close, and was it +2 or -2? -2.
If we put the square like before the degree, does it still mess up the answer or no?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
So watch, I'll show you right here. I'm going to hit enter. How many answers do I have here? I got 4 answers, right? So you see where these are? Now now this is important if you want to go and look at the equation that you entered. This is when you have to edit your equation. You hit tab. Hit tab and it brings this up right here. If you notice it says F2, but my line is in blue and that's F1. Hit arrow up once. There we go. So I arrowed up and I'm right here. So now Gustavo, where do you want to put the square at?
Like after the tangent, like
How it's written?
yeah.
Like that? So that's why that's important. Now, here's a trick with the calculator. Do a lot of people have your line or your blue equation right here along the x-axis? So this is what I want you to do. So before you start finding your solutions, put the hand over your equation, click on it, and then you could move it. Move it out of the way. Use the hand to click on it and then move it out of the way. Now we're going to go through and find all 4 of these answers. So especially for those people that were not here, step by step. Menu. Analyze graph. We're finding the 0. 0 is where it's crossing the x-axis. That's how I get my zero product rule here. I know you people are writing this down, so I'm trying to give you guys a moment. Analyze graph, then 0, yes. That's the option you're going to use. Now, it says lower bound. So use the mouse. That's the little mouse pad that's on your thing. You can move it left and right on your little thing. So move it to the left of where it's going to cross the x-axis. So lower bound means move to the left. Now you're going to put it there, hit enter. And now it changed and now it says upper bound, doesn't it? So what that does is telling I want the calculator to find me where it crosses the x-axis in between these 2 bars in the shaded area. So you only can get one at a time. You have to do this 4 times. The calculator won't do all of them together. You have to do it 4 times. Click enter. There we go. So there's my answer. And then go through and do it again. Menu. Analyze, 0. Menu. Analyze, 0. Menu. Analyze, 0. Your what?
My calculator, like, it rounded the 16 to the 17.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a setting thing. I'll show you here in a second. Let me see. You're not logged in, so I can't see yours. You were logged in, weren't you, for the warm-up? Or no?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's why. So I'm using this to actually help people find the answers if they need help. Like Gustavo, who's not doing anything right now still. So that would not be a good thing.
Let me change it up.
Okay. So we have the 4 answers. So if it rounded, it's fine. If it rounded, it's fine. So you'll see it here in a second, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So my answers are here. And I'm going to round it for the sake of my problem here. So my solution set was, what was it, 45? 45, 117, and what? So, what mode is that for my answers? Degrees. That's in degrees, isn't it? What did it say I want my answers in? This right here says radian. I want this in radian here. So I'm going to convert my answers to radian. So I'm going to take my number, 45, and I'm going to multiply it by what? Times pi over 180, right? And you're going to do this over and over again for each one. The next one is what? 117. All right, go ahead, say it, Gustavo.
Don't put in the pi because it's going to give you a decimal.
Very good, good job. Do not put in the pi because it's going to give you a decimal. What do you do with the pi? Slap it on the end and do what? You gotta say good game, otherwise it's awkward, okay? So you slap it onto the end. So, you guys are calculating these for me right meow, right? All right, this first one should be pretty easy. Pi over 4. The second one, 13 pi over 20. The third one, 5 pi over 4. And my last one, 33 pi over 20. Does that make sense? I'm hoping you guys find this pretty straightforward. It's just using your calculator as a tool that it should be used. Okay? If you know how to use it, it's a great tool. You can get all your answers. So write my solution set. Pi over 4. What do we say? 13 pi over 20. 5 pi over 4 and 33 pi over 20. There's my solution set. Does that make sense? Hopefully? Yes? No? All right, I'm moving on. There we go. Find all the solutions of this. Write the solution set. Now, does this one say, this one right here say what my interval is?
No.
It doesn't give my interval. So what should I assume the interval is? 0 to 360, right? And if it doesn't say how I want my answers, what's the easiest way to get answers? In degrees, right? So leave it in degree mode unless it specifically says change to radian. Now, is this one right here equal to 0?
No.
Nope. What do I got to do to make it equal 0? Subtract 1 from both sides.
Exactly.
So I'm going to rewrite this so we can see this. So it's cotangent, open, x degrees, close. This is where a lot of people are going to screw this up because of the parentheses. So cotangent, when you hit the cotangent button, it automatically opens up a parentheses. So that means that when you close it, it has to be closed right after your x there. Unless there's some reason why there's something else inside there, but right now all we have is x inside there. The next one, we're going to open up that cotangent. So open, and then cotangent again, x degrees, close, plus 3, close. And so that's all of this right here. That's all of this. Now, I still have to do the minus 1. Put the minus 1 on the outside. Make the calculator do all the work for you. Make the calculator do the work because you're just subtracting 1 from all of this. And that's going to equal 0 now. Enter it. Do it. Alright, I'm going to start entering it now. And if you don't want to set up your window every time, you just hit tab, arrow up, and delete the previous one. That's the easiest way to do that. Cotangent. X degrees, close, open, cotangent, x degrees, close, plus 3, close, minus 1. All right, and let's see what we got. So how many solutions does this one have? It looks like 4, right? It's going to cross the x-axis 4 times, so I have 4 solutions. And menu, analyze, 0. Now, I'm going to show you how to get more decimals on your graph. So, everyone right now, please, I'm going to show you how to get more decimals. Especially when you're rounding, there is going to be some problems that when rounding, it gives you big numbers. It only shows you 3 digits. I don't know why it's preset like that. But I'm going to show you how to show more. So nothing is clicked, nothing is selected. I hit menu, settings, and float either 5 or 6. So 5 or 6, either way, is fine. But you need at least a minimum 5. So when we're approximating, that's going to be important. Menu, settings, and then change this to float 5 or 6. Hit OK. Now if you notice on mine here, I have 73.155. So there's 5 digits there now. That's what that means. I want to see 5 digits. I'm going to do the next one. Menu, analyze, 0. Again, 5 digits there. Just this one has 100 in front of it, so 163, but it shows 2 more digits afterwards. So it's going to make rounding easier. So you could already round it to the 100th there. Menu, analyze, 0. And my last one, menu, analyze, 0. There we go. Does that make sense? So if we're rounding this, let's say we're rounding it to the 10th. How many decimal points is to the 10th? Just 1, right? Just 1. So what is this one going to be? What is my answer for this first point? 73.2, because that 5 is going to make that 1 go up. Let's write them out. So my solution set, 73.2, 163.2, my last one, 343.2. Now, does that make sense?
Why do we need the decimal points?
I believe it's question 29 or something like that. You asked me about it, the decimal, remember? I showed you on the calculator. But not everyone has the same setting. It's weird because I tried to do it on mine. I tried to do it on someone else's. But when we did it on yours during advisory, it was fine. Yours was able to do it. Everyone else couldn't. So I don't know what the deal is. So that's why I showed you how to change them all instead of clicking on each one. Remember what number that is? Like 25 or 27 or something like that, right? Okay. Now, example 5 is just like this. Do we need to do this again? No. What you need to do is actually start practicing this and doing this in your assignment. So I'm going to give you as much time possible to finish the assignment before you walk out of here today. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button and use promo code I need to pass to get 10% off.